Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Rukmini Rakarish, Rukmini Rakarish, Rukmini Rakarish, Rukmini Rakarish. Jaya Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya. Astotara Sat His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Purushottam Kshetra Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28, Text 5 and 6. I'm going to do Text 5 alone, and then we'll do Text 6 together, everyone. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Kapila's instructions on devotional service. Text number 5. Maunam sad-āsana-jayaḥ. Sthairyaṁ prāṇa-jayaḥ śanaiḥ. pratyāhāraś cendriyāṇāṁ. viṣayān manasā hṛdi. One must observe silence, acquire steadiness by practicing different yoga postures, control the breathing of the vital air, withdraw the senses from the sense objects, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart. Purport. The yoga practices in general, and the hatha-yoga in particular, are not ends in themselves. They are means to the end of attaining steadiness. First, one must be able to sit properly, and then the mind and attention will become steady enough for practicing yoga. Gradually, one must control the circulation of the vital air, and with such control he will be able to withdraw the senses from the sense objects. In the previous verse it is stated that one must observe celibacy. The most important aspect of sense control is controlling sex life, and that is called brahmacarya. By practicing the different sitting postures and controlling the vital air, one can control and restrain the senses from unrestricted sense enjoyment. Text 6. Svadhishnyanam ekadeshe manasā prāṇa-dharanam Vaikunta-lila abhidhyanam samadhanam yatha atmanaha swadhisyanam ekadeshe manasā prāṇa-dharanam vaikunta-lila pityanam samadhanam tatatmanaha swadhisyanam ekadeshe manasā prāṇa-dharanam vaikunta-lila pityanam samadhanam tatatmanaha swadhisyanam ekadeshe manasā prāṇa-dharanam vaikunta-lila pityanam samadhanam tatatmanaha. Please chant. Ladies. Anyone else? Translation. Fixing the vital air and the mind in one of the 6 circles of vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called samadhi or samadhana of the mind. Purport. There are 6 circles of vital air circulation within the body. The first circle is within the belly. The second circle is in the area of the heart. The third area is in the area of the lungs. The fourth is on the palate. The fifth is between the eyebrows. And the highest, the 6th circle, is above the brain. One has to fix his mind and the circulation of the vital air, and thus think of the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. It is never mentioned that one should concentrate on the impersonal or void. It is clearly stated, Vaikunta Lila. Lila means pastimes. Unless the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, has transcendental activities, where is the scope for thinking of these pastimes? It is through the process of devotional service, chanting and hearing of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that one can achieve this concentration. As described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord appears and disappears according to his relationship with the different devotees. The Vedic literatures contain many narrations of the Lord's pastimes, including the Battle of Kurukshetra and historical facts relating to the life and precepts of devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and Ambarish Maharaj. One need only concentrate his mind on such a narration and become always absorbed in its thought. Then he will be in samadhi. Samadhi is not an artificial bodily state. It is the state achieved when the mind is virtually absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation: fixing the vital air in the mind in one of the 6 circles of vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called samadhi, or samadhana of the mind. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Kananjana Shalakaya Shakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidamsha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada speaks so clearly, isn't it? It's so clear exactly what we have to do. We just have to do it. So the first thing he points out, where are we? 5? That the yogic principles, while being very useful and utilizable for our focus of mind, are not the ends in themselves. They're merely the way to attain steadiness, to calm the mind so that we can sink into the meditation, the thinking about the pastimes or thinking of the form of the Lord. And so practice of pranayama is very helpful, and also practice of austerity. Prabhupada says that austerity is the wealth of the Brahmins. And in this way, we weaken the senses. The senses are very strong and powerful, and they can pull away the mind even of a man of resolution. So to weaken the senses, we don't indulge in them, and they lose it's like their teeth. It's like a serpent. Senses like serpents. But if you take the teeth out of the serpent, it just becomes like a big worm. So, like this. So the process in the let me get my notes actually. Excuse me. So the system of Ashtanga Yoga was rejected by Arjuna because of the state of the mind being so chanchalam. It's also very strong, balavam, dritha, very obstinate, very fickle mind. But Krishna explains at the end of the 6th chapter what's real yoga. Because we have the haṭha-yoga, that's for focusing the mind, but real yoga, as described by Krishna at the end, is the fixing of the mind, as we're reading here. It's exactly the same actually as what we're reading here. That it's the fixing of the mind, the calming of the mind, and the absorption of the mind in the lila form and pastimes. The lila form and beauty of the Lord. And then in the 7th chapter, Krishna goes on to explain practical ways that we can do that. By the taste within water. Krishna says, I am the taste within water. So by tasting the taste of water, we can remember Krishna. By seeing the light of the sun and the moon, we can remember Krishna. By seeing the strength of the strong, or the intelligence of the intelligence, the prowess of the powerful, we can see Krishna. By hearing the sound that is within ether, we can understand Krishna. And we can sink into the beauty and the incredible beauty of Krishna in this way. In the Brahma Samhita it also says about how the tips of the toes of the lotus feet can only the tips of the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord can be approached by the yogis who are aspiring after the transcendental and who partake themselves to pranayama by controlling the respiration. But to really, really get Krishna, we need this smaranam. Smaranam, most important. We can do the externals, and the externals are beneficial, even if we just chant Hare Krishna, like sometimes when we're on Harinam, people go, Hare Krishna, like this. They're kind of mocking. But the fact is the holy name has potency, and so it works anyway. But when you add the intention, the absorption, the meditation, the focus, then it becomes on another level. Then it becomes on a level that changes the way that we see, that changes the way that we are, that will change the whole world. Prabhupada said that if enough people take to the chanting of Hare Krishna, the karmic way of the world, the way it's going, like disastrous right now, that will all change because of people's focus, because they're absorbed in Krishna. When the mind is absorbed in Krishna, Krishna becomes present. He becomes present in the mind of those who focus their mind on Krishna. And then we start to imbibe the qualities of Krishna, because we're small parts and parcel of Krishna. We have the qualities in small parts, but the more we put our mind focused on those beautiful lotus feet, the more good qualities we will get. And the more, Prabhupada also said, when enough people qualify themselves, we will get a good leader in the world, who's going to guide the international state of affairs. Now that we've gone global, it's not just local, it's global. It's a big deal. We need good leaders. And this is the way, by training the mind to sit, to beg, always to be at the lotus feet of the Lord. Yes, Krishna says also in that last verse about how that person who's in that state is most intimately united with Krishna. Without this kind of meditation, then yoga just becomes like when one is sick, one goes to a doctor. If you go to an Ayurvedic doctor and not a Western doctor, but if you go to an Ayurvedic doctor who are real doctors and not just covering up symptoms but actually treating disease, they will give you a diet and you have to follow the diet. But although you follow the diet and it controls the disease still can remain. And at a little something may trigger it and it just comes back again. And so it's very important to not just to actually pull the disease out, get the root out. And so we have to find ways to engage the mind. Like, for instance, in Vrindavan, when the monkey steals your glasses. Mind is like a monkey. It's really monkey-like. So when the monkeys steal the glasses in Vrindavan, it will just chew your glass and break it and throw it. But if you need your glasses, you'll give it banana. So by giving the banana to the monkey, he will give up the horrible plastic glasses and eat the sweet banana. Or like a child, when a child's playing with a toy that belongs to another child and you try to take it, it will scream, maybe even do tantrum. But if you give it something, I don't know, some chocolate or something that it likes more, then it will just drop that thing as insignificant. So in the same way, we have to trick our mind by giving it the nectar, the sweetness of Krishna, diving into all these wonderful, wonderful pastimes that Prabhupada told us about Krishna Lila, and magical world. Magical world, not like the modern scientific world with their bombs and their devices and their armies and all this crazy stuff. Beautiful world where you can simply glorify God, and you can take some seeds, put them in the ground, put a little bit of water, and your food will just appear. And you can take some wood, you can build your house, you will have a place to live. You can go to the river when you're thirsty, you will have water. All those things provided by the Lord for our life. So we have time to sit down peacefully in the mode of goodness in Sattva Gun and just focus our mind on Krishna. But, the modern world has created so many crazy distractions and not even pleasant. Mostly it's not even pleasant. So for us it's because we have Krishna, we're not really interested in those things. But for those people who have nothing, they're running like horses after carrots. Is it horses? Donkeys, right? Like the donkey after the carrot. They run like that. Yeah. So in this age, Lord Chaitanya gave us the most beautiful and easy method. Because in the age of Kali, it's said that everyone's born Sudra, whether they're men or women. We're all Sudra, we're less intelligent, we're slow. And so he gave us the most beautiful and sublime method for developing love for Krishna, which is simply to chant Hare Krishna. The Sankirtan movement. Prabhupada brought the Sankirtan movement to the West. Bhaktivinoda's vision to see people of all nations, all ages, all social backgrounds, together with their arms raised, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Understanding the common, uniting force between us, that we're all spirit soul, children of God. And that we develop our love for God, and that God has many names. He has so many names, just as the sun has so many names in different languages. God has so many names. And we coexist with all those people, whatever their beliefs are. We coexist with them, and we work for the lifting of the world out of the demoniac clutches of materialism, voidism, and fruitive activities. Oh, it's getting very late. So, when I was reading up, Prabhupada said, for anyone who's afraid of the asuric lifestyle, asuric means demons, the demoniac lifestyle, with their weapons, their drones, their armies, their plans for overthrowing governments and taking the wealth, the natural wealth of the country, and turning the citizens into slaves. Anyone who's afraid of that should take shelter of the holy name of Krishna, and bring the presence of Krishna into existence, just like when Lord Ramachandra was present on the earth. All the bad things just weren't there because of his auspicious presence. So in the same way, when we meditate and when we get other people to chant Hare Krishna, and we chant Hare Krishna, that auspicious presence will change the atmosphere. And in that way, Prabhupada said, just as when Ramachandra was here, we can have the same time even in the age of Kali. And also he said that just as Kamsa, although he was so powerful, could not kill Krishna, that no demon can stop this movement or destroy this movement. So we just have to be greedy for the holy name and program our mind. Luckily, our body, unfortunately, we get whatever body we get it at birth. We're kind of stuck with it. But the mind is very mutable and very trainable. It's hard to train it, but it's very strong, and it can be trained, and therefore we can use it for our own ends, thinking about Krishna and becoming happy. Krishna is described as Shyamasundar, Achintya, Guna, Swarupam. That he has inconceivable, innumerable attributes. And we can just think of we may like to think about his incredible beauty or his pastimes. Whatever we think about, this will immediately take us out of the material atmosphere. And we have our Lord Chaitanya. Today is the appearance day of Lochan Das Thakur. So Lochan Das Thakur, he was a disciple of Narahari Sakar, who was a direct associate of Lord Chaitanya. He was present when Lord Chaitanya was here, present 500 years ago. And Lord Chaitanya was the incarnation of Godhead that is the topmost incarnation, the Saraswati. And he is the combination of Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna are one entity, but they separated themselves eternally. But in this age, they again appeared as one, as Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, he has a golden form. He's here on the altar here with Lord Nityananda. And he has a golden form, and he's always performing the Sankirtan of the holy names. He has long, long arms that reach to his knees. And he has big lotus eyes, which are full of love for the suffering. He's the most compassionate avatar. And he has love for all the living entities who are suffering here in the material world due to having poor fund of knowledge. And He's the founder of the Sankirtan movement. And he's the benediction for the Brahmanas because he keeps the Vedic culture going, this beautiful lifestyle. And so he would arise at dawn, and with his associates, one of which was Narahari Dasaka, they would go out and chant the names, awakening the people of the neighborhoods, saying, why are you wasting your days and nights, uselessly sleeping and decorating your bodies? Just chant the beautiful names of Krishna. And because it's Lochan Das Thakur's day, he was also a great poet, and he wrote beautiful, beautiful songs. Like one of the songs that he wrote is Nitai Gunamani Ama, beautiful song. And Akroda Paramananda, Nityananda Rai, beautiful, beautiful songs. And the one that we probably all know here, the Paramakaruna. And he said, please, understand that this is not something trivial. This is something really amazing. Just simply by chanting, simply by dancing, and remembering the Lord in the heart, all this will lead to the desired goal. The desired goal is to escape the cycle of birth and death and become again in our original position, servant of Krishna in the spiritual world, not caught up in this dark world. This is a world of darkness. It's called Mritya Loka. It's a place of birth and death. There's a lot of suffering. We don't have so much suffering because we live in America, but you just have to watch the news and see which kind of suffering is possible on this planet. And so this Mritya Loka is not the home of the soul. We're just here temporarily, and this is our process to get out by chanting. Take it seriously. Let's chant. Let's encourage our friends as much as possible to take up the process. And because the love of God is already in the heart of the living entity. Because we're part and parcel of Krishna, we have love of God as our core. That's what we are. But because we just turned away from Him and came here, our soul is very small and it's encased within all these layers of muscle and bone and blood and all this stuff and all the limitations of our karmas. But we have love of God. It's said, Shravan Adi Sudachit, Hridayadoi, that with the pure mind we just meditate on Krishna, and that love that's already there, it just awakens. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to buy it somewhere or find it somewhere. It's right there, right in our heart. We just have to take the dirt off. Clean all that dirt off, and that's it. It's so beautiful process we have. Thank you all for coming and listening. Hare Krishna. Today's chanting. Oh yeah, today is chanting from 1 o'clock till 1 o'clock to welcome the new year. May 2025 be auspicious, and may the Sankirtan movement grow ever stronger.